You know that feeling after a good, hearty meal? Worries of the world just slip away. Time slows down. Nothing but good times and good company. That's what you get with Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Mary Ellen's does food right, with a menu that includes smoked wings, pulled pork, brisket, catfish, and don't sleep on their sides, shrimp and grits, collard greens, baked beans. It's food that makes your heart happy. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul, just east of 27th and Pine Lane. Let them fix you a plate.
Hey there.
Hi, honey.
Uh-oh.
Remember we told Jamie and Mike about Liberty First Credit Union, how great their checking account and car loans are, the amazing service we get, and how we love being members?
Yeah.
Well, they took our advice. Jamie said how easy it was to move all their accounts and become members. Now they say they're banking with purpose at Liberty First Credit Union.
Learn more about being a member at libertyfirstcu.com. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Member NCUA.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
Problem gambling affects more than the gambler. It affects spouses, children, extended family members, and friends. If you are a loved one who's struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 476-2300.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful. I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman. Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sure.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone again, and with me on the line, Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I know how proud you and everyone at the dealership are to earn the prestigious Honda President's Award year after year, 17 times. Tell our listeners what it means to you and your customers.
Thanks, Charlie. Yeah, all of us are extremely proud to have earned this award, and I want all of our customers to know it's not just earned by one person's efforts. It's the entire dealership. Sales, parts, and our amazing service department.
17 times. Wow. How does that compare to other Honda dealers?
This award is only given to the most elite dealerships that demonstrate excellence. We really do strive to go above and beyond for the ultimate customer experience before and after the sale, Charlie.
That's why for 2022, Honda of Lincoln is once again Nebraska's #1 volume Honda dealer. Come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Our sales, precision ag, parts, and service teams are ready to serve you this planning season. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
From the playing fields to the sidelines, from Florida to California, from the Big 12 to the Big 10, welcome to the wide world of Raff. Live from the 93.7 The Ticket studios in the heart of Lincoln, America, on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Chris Raff.
All right, everybody, we are back. This is the wide world of Raff. It is Wednesday night. I got the man, the myth, the legend, Harrison with me. Harrison, the man, the legend.
I like that. That's a lot of titles.
The nighttime what should it be? The nighttime. We need like a great nighttime nickname for you.
No, I don't know.
I've
actually thought about this just because I've gotten so pasty, unfortunately, being in studio all the time. It's like I felt like the vampire of the ticket weeknights. It's kind of getting to that point.
The czar of the late night.
The czar of the late. That's not a bad one.
I mean, it's got a ring to it.
Yeah, pretty much. It's been nice though. I'm not gonna lie though. Ticket weeknights has just gotten awesome lately. Having obviously all the weekly shows in here. We have people like Teammates. Amon Green was never in the fold for Ticket weeknights, but now we have him every Thursday 6. So again, if you're not paying attention to Ticket weeknights, it's really taken off. Obviously with an insertion of our daytime guest having their own personal podcast, it's been awesome to say the least.
I was at the state fair for almost 2 weeks, got back, but Saturday night Friday night.
Okay.
I get back from the fair. It's probably around 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, ooh, Kansas is playing, and friends with Coach Leipold down in Kansas. So I always keep an eye on him. So I pull up ESPN Plus, and I hear the commentator, the analyst, or you have the broadcaster, the color commentator.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that voice, it's so familiar. And all of a sudden I'm like, that's Amon Green. So it was pretty cool to see Amon doing that for the Kansas game.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, we're here. We're back again. Wide World of Raff. And tomorrow night, it's like Christmas Eve right now.
Yeah, I'm licking my chops. It's about time.
We open up our presents tomorrow night. We got the return of the National Football League.
It's a good time to be alive.
Oh, it's the best.
Are you a fantasy football guy, Raff?
I have one league that I participate in. I've been doing it for I think we've been doing it for 15 years. And it's like all the guys that from the neighborhood where I grew up in, like when I was like a little kid.
Oh, that's awesome. So all your good high school friends from the neighborhood back in the day.
Grade school, junior high, high school. So we've been doing that for 15 years. I think there's only 8 of us in the league. It's pretty funny because about 3 of them, they go to bed at 8 p.m. So they auto draft, and it gets frustrating sometimes when they auto draft because
especially if you have the time sets 2 minutes per pick.
Well,
we had one of those.
It begins skipping through, but the frustration is I had 2 guys before me that were auto drafting this year, and say you want to draft a guy and it picks the very next one, and you're thinking to yourself, well, he wouldn't normally draft that, and you're counting forward, and you're like, okay, so I have the 8th pick, and that player's at number 7. You're like, well, he's going to get auto drafted.
Yep.
So you lose out on him. So
yeah, the part is tough. Even if they got 2 wide receivers, they say they got Hill and Cup. Obviously, no one's really going to get that.
Yeah.
But if they take another superstar,
it's frustrating.
Yeah, it can be annoying.
And then it gets even worse when they end up winning the league and they auto drafted, and it's like.
We had a close call. I was luckily the winner in my group last year, and we had a close call where the auto drafter almost shook things up in the playoffs.
I've been participating for, like I said, it's very close to 15 years now, and I've second is the best I've ever. What happens to me is, well, some years I just am horrible, but then there's other years where I'm close to winning, and then people end up sitting out players at the end of the year, and I end up losing. Or one year I needed 1 point out of I forgot who it was. But my one buddy never let me hear the end of it. I was like, all I needed was 1 point, and he did not participate.
That's why I don't typically like to brag. I'll brag to my friends who are in there, but yeah, you can don't run around town bragging about being in your fantasy.
Yeah. And then I'm trying to determine this year. I guess Jeff at Farrell's, they have the Fitness Fanatics. They do a little DraftKings thing for some of the Farrell's people. So I might have to throw in a few dollars on there. I think he does it on DraftKings. So
I should get in on that too.
Yeah.
We can just show up.
Have him send the link. Jeff, I'm sure he's listening because he's a devout listener to all my programs.
He might be in bed by now.
Yeah, he's got to get up at 3:30 to go work out. So what I was thinking for tonight was we have a little first week NFL preview show, and we'll just go and we'll look through every game, and then we will decide, or we will tell you who's going to win the game.
Yeah, I'll get the spreads on those too. Kind of see what
Bro, no, we don't do spreads. Come on now. We don't do that. That's crazy. We just pick winners here. But we can do that too. We can do spreads and all that fun stuff.
I was just saying, see the way the world's looking at the game.
Yeah.
But we'll avoid
the world.
spreads.
Yeah. So the first game tomorrow night kicks off at 7:20 on NBC. You've got the world champion. Oh, it pains me to say that. Oh, I just hate saying that. But we've got the world champion Kansas City Chiefs versus Nick Sainert and Ray Detroit Lions. So you got the Lions and Chiefs at Arrowhead. You got all the concerts and all the fireworks and all the pregame festivities. You got it all taking place. Man, Arrowhead or Kansas City have the draft. Then you got this. You got having the Super Bowl.
They're on high right now.
Yeah,
March Madness, they did well in March Madness. Kansas State did. Football, they're a lot better than people anticipate. They're up and up across the board in sports.
Yeah, so Kansas City is the place to be right now. So you got the Chiefs and you got the Lions. So with this, I guess all eyes, I would say tomorrow night are on what happens with number 87. You had Travis Kelce get injured in practice on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
They say a hyperextended knee.
Yeah, apparently it's not as bad as kind of people, but he's still week 1.
They're saying it's a bone bruise.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it's just, I guess I'm not sure how you, if you're the Chiefs, how you want to play this. If you want to maybe hold him out just with the long term, like say you got the long season, so you set him out for a couple games just to make sure he comes back totally healthy, or do you try and rush him back? Or, I guess it'll be interesting to see what the organization decides to do, because I'm sure if you're Travis Kelce, you're like, first game of the year, NBC, I want to be out there with my guys. But then as an organization, you got to be like, hey, we're playing it for the long term here. So it'll be curious to see what they do with him.
I don't think he hits the field.
Plays.
No, I think a guy like that, for how much you put on him later in the season, kind of what you're saying.
Yeah.
You're going to want to put a lot on him, especially when it gets down to clutch time. So I think, unfortunately, it's the Lions because their schedule eases up after that. But I think, you're just going to have to sit him out, let your other guys work.
Yeah. And I think, too, that this will just be maybe another notch for Patrick Mahomes to be like, hey, I can come out here and win without, my number one tight end, my number one wide receiver, because he is their number one receiver.
Yeah, he was last year. Numbers.
Looking at their roster, I'm always big on Kadarius Toney. If he stays healthy, I think he could be huge in Kansas City because he's got all the tools. It's just the problem he has a problem staying healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got the Lions, who last year they had a good year for them. I think they're a program that's on the up and ups. You've got Jahmyr Gibbs that'll be making his first debut game. And then you got Jared Goff, and you got Amon St. Brown making his season debut. But I still think it'll be the Chiefs.
Yeah, when I kind of looked at the Lions almost remind me of like the Huskers last year. They played really hard. It felt like a team that definitely believes in Campbell. I don't think it's a culture issue. But
I think they're a playoff team this year.
They scare me. When I'm looking at the NFC North, I'm looking at Lions and Vikings.
Yep.
It's one of those two.
Yep.
As much as I love the Bears, I don't see it.
I don't know. The Bears are my
dark horse.
My dark horse team, I think. So, but I'm gonna say the Chiefs. I just think that being in front of 90,000 people, that place is going to be electric. And you've always got the wild card. You got number 15, and anytime you roll in with number 15 behind center, you're going to have a good chance at winning the game. So I'm still, even though if they play without Travis Kelce, I still think the Chiefs get it done tomorrow night. So
yeah, it'll be interesting to see the Lions too. They got Montgomery too in the backfield. Curious to see how they use him. If they just kind of try to eat clock up and play physical, because we've seen it time and time again. You don't want to get to last person with the ball wins with Mahomes.
Yeah, and another thing too, if the Lions somehow pull off a victory, that is a springboard game for them. That could be something that launches them the entire season, knowing that they're able to get a victory at Arrowhead the first game against Patrick Mahomes. But I still think it'll be the Chiefs.
Yeah, I think it's Chiefs too. Look, if the Lions win it, you said it. They'd have a tough matchup the next week against the Seahawks, but then you go on the Falcons, Packers, Panthers, Buccaneers. You're going to have some opportunities to kind of steamroll that win. Yep. So it's a good opportunity for him. But
I'll be curious too if he flies into Denver tomorrow for the Colorado-Nebraska game, if he'll be wearing his Detroit Lions jersey in the Denver airport tomorrow, just supporting his Lions.
He will. I'm sure he will.
I mean, he got to do
it. He doesn't hide his shame. He'll wear that proudly.
All right, so then we'll move on. We will go to I'll save the Broncos for last, just because, they're the Broncos, and you always got to save the best for last. But we'll start off with the noon game. We got the Houston Texans and the Baltimore Ravens.
It's kind of the sleeper game for me.
I'm thinking the Ravens roll in this one.
Yeah.
I think Lamar Jackson signs a big contract in the offseason. They've got it seems like they've got all their pieces now. They've got a receiving core. You've got a running game. You got Dobbins. You got Beckham. You've got it. Strong
Bateman.
defense.
Rashad Bateman's he's a nice receiver too, obviously.
Yeah. So I just think you're going to have the Texans. You're going to have C.J. Stroud getting his first start with the Texans.
Might have the best tight end too, I guess. Now that Kelsey, if he's sitting out week 1, you still got Mark Andrews.
Yeah,
they've always had weapons. Lamar just hasn't been healthy.
Yeah, so I think, and you got Lamar. A lot of people, haven't seen him play. I mean, he's had out the last like 6 or 7 weeks last year.
Yeah.
So I think, even though I don't think he has anything to prove, I think he's going to have that chip on his shoulder to really show people. And he shot out some crazy predictions too this summer about throwing for over 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns and stuff like that. But you got the Ravens at Baltimore, Texans. I'll tell you this, Texans, I love D'Amico Ryans. I love their head coach. I think he's going to really get Houston back in the up and ups to where they were winning division titles. I just don't think quite yet. So I'm going to go with the Ravens. I think they'll win quite convincingly.
Yeah, I think that's a safe bet too. I'm kind of right there with the Texans. This is, I think it's just year of development for them. You look at the roster, they just don't have enough talent-wise. You'd be lying to yourself if you say they have enough to make a serious push.
I think the big kicker for them will be with C.J. Stroud and how he gets through the season. Like, you don't want him to go when they way back in the day. I always get the cars messed up. I do not know why this happens to me. David Carr. He was the who's the Saints quarterback? Carr is David.
Derek Carr, or right now?
So Derek's
okay.
Okay, I always get David.
You're throwing me off. Yeah.
So David Carr was the first round pick of the Texans. I always get the two Carrs messed up.
Okay, I got you.
He was his older brother. Well, what happened when first round pick came in? They put him under center the very first game. Got sacked a million times.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, well, next thing you know, when they finally started getting better, he was so gun shy, he never was able quite to put together that career that you thought he might have had being a first pick of the draft. So I'm just hoping that Stroud, they're able to work him in, not get him sacked a million times, and he's able to put together the pieces and become a really successful NFL quarterback. So
having Pierce at running back too, I think that's big. He was a good pick last year, and to kind of have him, like you said, it's not going to be on him. It's not going to be like Trevor Lawrence rolling into Jacksonville with first year Urban Meyer.
Yeah, you might have heard me say this before, but you probably want to run the ball a little bit and get your quarterback, settle your quarterback in, not throw him out there and throw 40. If he has to throw the ball 40, 45 times, it'll be trouble in Houston, and that'll mean that the Ravens have put together quite the lead. So
yeah,
we'll see how that all goes. And now we'll move on to the next 12 o'clock game. We've got the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns. In Cleveland, you've got Cleveland quarterback Deshaun Watson. I thought he did not impress me much last year coming back from his suspension. I expected more from what you'd seen him in Houston. So it's going to be interesting to see if he puts it all together again and becomes one of those elite quarterbacks, because before the suspension, you were looking at Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes, of course, was ahead of him. But he was one of those quarterbacks you're like, oh, Deshaun Watson will be able to, threaten Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City. But then the suspension happened. He came back just really not that impressive to me.
Yeah.
They've got a good running game. They've got Nick Chubb. So they've got pieces too. But once again, Cincinnati Bengals, you heard it today. The man, the myth, Joe Burrow. Hey, are you guys related? The man, the myth? No.
So, yeah, we actually go.
So Joe Burrow says he's ready to roll. He's ready to go. It sounds like he's on the verge of signing the biggest contract in the history of the NFL. So you got Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Joe Mixon, and Zach Taylor leading the charge. I'm going to go with the Bengals. Even though it's in Cleveland, I'm going with the Bengals just because I think Joe Burrow's he's that guy, or as you say, he's that dude. So I think the Bengals, I know he hasn't played all that much because he was, with the injury that he had, but I think he'll be ready to go. And I think the Bengals.
Yeah, I was close to Zag on that one. I almost want to go Browns just because for whatever reason, the Bengals are kind of slow out the gates past couple of years. I'm not sure. Like last year, kind of not the start you'd expected.
Yeah.
Obviously injuries too. It's going to change the game for you, but Yeah, I just think at this point, even if Burrow didn't quite have the full run in the offseason, he's been with those guys long enough now.
Yeah.
You know, it's not going to take him nearly as long to kind of plug in and play. So kind of therefore, if this was like, you know, maybe year 2, year 3, I'd go with the Browns, but he's been with that core for so long now. I don't think
And
he's
it's-
going to need time.
And it's another one of those games too. If Cleveland somehow can pull out a victory over the Bengals, it could be one of those, you know, diving board type things to where Deshaun Watson, you know, maybe escalates back up, you know, to the top because he's got all the tools still. I don't think they've eroded that much in the past 2 years.
Mhm.
So it'll be curious, but I still think the Bengals, I think Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow, I think they have that sour taste in their mouth the way last season ended. So
What do you expect to see from Deshaun Watson? You kind of talked about last season, but do you expect it to flip this season, or
I
do you
don't
think it's
know.
more of the same?
I don't know. See, I thought when he first came back from the suspension, I expected him to be rusty, but I thought by the end of the year, he'd kind of get back to the old Deshaun Watson, but I never really did. I never saw it. And
No,
I
he
was
never
like,
shook the rust off.
so yeah, so I'm like, maybe he needs an off season. Maybe he needs to get back. So I mean, you got to believe he's still got all the talent, but it's just a matter of will he be able to get back to what he used to be? And then you go back to thinking, was some of that when he was in Houston, the coaching, you know, you had Bill O'Brien as the coach, maybe some of it was the coaching, but we'll find out. And that's the best part about football is they play the games for a reason. So we'll see. We'll see. I would guess right away, you know, what Deshaun Watson's going to be like this year. So
That's what I was this game. I was thinking about zagging on it because I'm really trying to think. Deshaun Watson, I think he's going to bounce back. I think last year, I don't think that's him.
Oh, and
it's a very small sample.
And for that town, Cleveland Browns fans are crazy.
Oh yeah,
I mean they are fans. Like sometimes you have some fans I kind of think kind of bandwagon, but Cleveland Browns fans, they go crazy for their team. So they're hoping and praying that Deshaun puts together, because if they don't, man, it will be an uprising in Cleveland. So, and especially with all the guaranteed money that they gave him.
Oh,
So
you're gonna have to deal with that contract if it doesn't work out.
yeah, it's not going anywhere. And then you got another noon game. You got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Minnesota Vikings. You got the Buccaneers led by their new quarterback, Baker Mayfield, taking over for the retired, quote unquote, Tom Brady. I still think he's going to play this year. I don't know why I keep on thinking.
Do you think he waits for a team to kind of make some noise and then he's like, you know what?
I think so.
Sounds like a good destination for me.
I don't know why I continue to think that. Every sign says he's retired, but
because he's pulled the plug on it once already. That's why.
And he hasn't been working out. You haven't seen the videos of him working out as
true.
much. Like when he retired the first time and you saw him throwing on the beach and stuff, I was like, he isn't retired. He's just taking a little bit of a break. But this time it really looks like he's completely retired. I probably have to admit that after week 10, I will admit to myself that he's retired. But until that time comes, I still think there's a chance Tom Brady returns back to the NFL and plays somewhere this year. But meanwhile, in Tampa Bay, you got Baker Mayfield. This is the final shot for Baker Mayfield. I've said it a couple times. I thought maybe the Rams last year, but he played decent for the Rams at times to give him a shot to start. But the thing is they are going to have a quick hook for him. If he does not succeed right away, they'll have Trask in there super, super fast. And then for the Vikings, you've got Kirk Cousins, it's Kirk Cousins. He's going to give you 35 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 4,000 yards passing. He's just consistent. It's what he does. But the Vikings this year are kind of different for me because they don't have the running back. They don't have Dalvin Cook this year. So
over on the Jets with Breece Hall.
So I'm not sure if the Vikings become one of those teams that starts. I mean, they already threw the ball a lot because you got Jefferson, who's arguably one of the top, I'd say 2 or 3 receivers in the NFL, if not number one. So
and Thielen's gone, right?
Yep, Thielen left. So you got Jefferson, and you've got why am I forgetting his name? Jordan Addison. You got Jordan Addison from USC, and then you got
still got your tight end,
and then you got the tight end Hawkinson, and then you got a receiver that's played really well as the number 3 receiver over the last few years has been KJ Osborne from Buffalo. Or Miami and Buffalo. He played both places. I watched him play at Buffalo. So to me, he's always a bull, but he ended his career in Miami. So you have those guys. So it'll be curious to see how that all works out for them. But I'm going with the Vikings in this game. I think that the Vikings, it's kind of a now or never situation for them. I think this was probably the final year for Kirk Cousins. If he's not able to make a deep run into the playoffs, I think they start looking at another quarterback.
Yeah,
and it's crazy because he's a Pro Bowl quarterback, and it's hard to give up 35.
I think it'd be like a Rodgers love situation. I think like they get the new guy in, and it's like you study until we think you're ready.
Yeah, and I just think that the Vikings have got to a point where they want to go over the top. They just can't go like last year. They went on that big long winning streak, got to the playoffs, didn't come to fruition for them, and then they end up, back at the drawing boards again. And also, the Vikings really have not came to the table really to offer Kirk Cousins a new contract either. So I guess it could be win-win for Kirk Cousins or lose-lose for Kirk Cousins. Just depends how the year goes. But I guarantee you he'll throw his 35-plus touchdowns and 4,000 yards. He's like the weather, not the Nebraska weather, of course. Nebraska weather.
He's that California weather, 70s every day.
Yeah, you know what you're going to get out of him. Consistency, good quarterback. So now we'll move on to the next early game here. Are we coming up on a break? We're probably getting close to a break here.
Yeah, we could actually, if you want to tuck those next games for later or tie up on this one right here.
Let's do this. Let's do this next game, then we'll throw it to break.
Okay.
So we got the Titans and Saints. It's the Titans and Saints in New Orleans at 12 o'clock. You've got the newly minted quarterback of the New Orleans Saints, Derek Carr, who did not miss many gym sessions this year. If you've seen any pictures of him, he's huge.
He looks good.
And then you got the Titans and you got Tannehill, which, man, you talk about not getting much talk at all this year, is the Titans. They were kind of like the team last year that a lot of people are like, this might be a team that can, make some noise. They lost, AJ Brown went to the Eagles. You still got Derrick Henry there, who out of the top running backs in the league, he's the oldest running back. So you wonder, is this Derrick Henry's final year of, putting up really good numbers? Can he stay healthy? Because you've got to think if the Titans are going to be successful, Henry's going to have to touch the ball, I would say 25, 30 times a game, every game.
Mm-hmm. They got Hopkins. I think they'll hopefully. I think they're banking on Tannehill and Hopkins to figure it out to help Henry.
And Hopkins is another one. Great talent, but he's, 32, 33 now. So he's starting to get up to that age where you're hoping that his talents don't start to erode a little bit, and then staying healthy. I mean, the thing with the Cardinals, I mean, he wasn't healthy for them. So
then we got healthy. Murray got hurt.
Yeah.
And then he was working with the backup the rest of the season. And that was a rough year for Hopkins. And I'm kind of on the same page. Titans scare me. Kind of seems like the place wide receivers go to end their career almost.
Yeah. Or get traded when they should get traded.
So I'm a Hopkins fan. So I'm just kind of nervous that this is going to be a bad year for him.
And then with the Saints, I wonder what goes on with Michael Thomas. He's been injured the last couple of years. If he can get back healthy, does Carr put him back on the maps? Before he got injured, he was having 120 catch seasons. He was one of the top receivers in the NFL. Then he had 2 years of injuries, and you haven't really heard much from him. But if somehow he could get back healthy, you get Kamara back from suspension, you've got something. But I'm going to go with the Saints. I think Derek Carr gets a victory down in the Big Easy in his first game as a Saints quarterback.
Give me the Titans. They got a real recipe over there. Last year, I couldn't tell you how many times last year where I'm sitting in my car just listening to the rest of the Titans game because I couldn't believe how many times I'm like, they're in this game.
Yeah.
They got the ball. They got Derrick Henry. Yep. It's the fourth quarter. There's 4 minutes left. Like, they got a real good recipe. If things are tight, that is the last team you want to play.
Yeah. I just think, too, with Derek Carr, I just think he just got a gigantic chip on his shoulder. I mean, he had a chip before, but just the way that the Raiders sent him packing and basically told him, sit out the last 2 weeks. We don't want you even around the facility.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's got something to prove. So I think that's what gets it done for the Saints. So, all right. So that will conclude pretty much the first part of this weekend's Week 1 NFL schedule. What we'll do now is we will throw it to break, and we will be right back on the Wide World of Raff.
Tailored Landscapes is actively preparing for spring. Things like getting new tree orders, getting equipment ready, and training staff to serve you the best we can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. We're on the brink of spring cleanups for all of our existing customers and have limited spots left. We trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give us a call today at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of our designers and get ready for Tailored Life's grand opening in Bennett.
You know that feeling after a good, hearty meal? Worries of the world just slip away. Time slows down. Nothing but good times and good company. That's what you get with Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Mary Ellen's does food right, with a menu that includes smoked wings, pulled pork, brisket, catfish. And don't sleep on their sides, shrimp and grits, collard greens, baked beans. It's food that makes your heart happy. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul, just east of 27th and Pineland. Let them fix you a plate.
Hey there.
Hi, honey.
Uh-oh.
Remember we told Jamie and Mike about Liberty First Credit Union, how great their checking account and car loans are, the amazing service we get, and how we love being members?
Yeah.
Well, they took our advice. Jamie said how easy it was to move all their accounts and become members. Now they say they're banking with purpose at Liberty First Credit Union.
Learn more about being a member at libertyfirstcu.com. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Member NCUA.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bliker with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bliker with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
Problem gambling affects more than the gambler. It affects spouses, children, extended family members, and friends. If you are a loved one who's struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 476-2300.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful. I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman. Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back in the future. Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone again, and with me on the line, Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I know how proud you and everyone at the dealership are to earn the prestigious Honda President's Award year after year, 17 times. Tell our listeners what it means to you and your customers.
Thanks, Charlie. Yeah, all of us are extremely proud to have earned this award, and I want all of our customers to know it's not just earned by one person's effort. It's the entire dealership. Sales, parts, and our amazing service department.
17 times. Wow. How does that compare to other Honda dealers?
This award is only given to the most elite dealerships that demonstrate excellence. We really do strive to go above and beyond for the ultimate customer experience before and after the sale, Charlie.
That's why for 2022, Honda of Lincoln is once again Nebraska's #1 volume Honda dealer. Come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Our sales, precision ag, parts, and service teams are ready to serve you this planning season. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Tailored Landscapes is actively preparing for spring. Things like getting new tree orders, getting equipment ready, and training staff to serve you the best we can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. We're on the brink of spring cleanups for all of our existing customers and have limited spots left. We trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give us a call today at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of our designers and get ready for Tailored Life's grand opening in Bennett.
Welcome back to the wide world of Raff on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, everybody, we are back again. This is the wide world of Raff on 93.7 The Ticket. If there's anybody listening or watching out there tonight, feel free to text in on the Starter Heyman text line 402-464-5685. Let me know what you think. Heck, just let me know that you're listening. We might be just talking to crickets out there. You never know. So, but those crickets are going to be educated NFL fans, and that's all that matters to me.
Oh, absolutely.
If I can change one cricket's life, I've done something positive in this world. So, all right, we'll kick it back off. We got another noon game. We got the Carolina Panthers versus the Atlanta Falcons in Atlanta. You've got a battle of two quarterbacks that'll be playing basically starting their first games in the NFL. You got the rookie from Alabama, Bryce Young, the Heisman Trophy winner. And then you've got, for the Falcons, Desmond Ridder, who played last year, but really didn't see the field all that much. So you got Desmond Ridder, Bryce Young. What do you think? Falcons, Panthers?
I think Bryce Young has a better debut than Ridder.
Who you going Bryce Young?
Yeah, I just, with Marcus Mariota, the fact that kind of experiment lasted so long kind of gave me some indication of how they feel about Ridder. Because kind of looking at Mariota would have pulled him a long time ago.
Yeah.
The fact that they kept rolling him out there was just like, well, where's Ridder at? Like, how confident are you guys? Because right now it obviously isn't the guy in Mariota. So yeah, I'm gonna lean towards CJ Stroud coming in there and kind of showing up right away.
Bryce Young.
Excuse me. I said, what did I say?
CJ Stroud.
No,
I got him confused.
Bryce Young.
I got him confused about a month ago.
I think it was a month ago.
Time. So, okay, so this is my thoughts on the Falcons and the Panthers. Panthers, you got Bryce Young, who I think is going to be an amazing NFL quarterback. First game, so you never really know what happens first game. The Falcons, they're ready to go, I think, with some of the players around. You got Bijan Robinson, who he's going to be a good running back, but it's his first game.
Mm-hmm.
You got Kyle Pitts. You've got players. This, for me, I guess the only reason that I'm
purely going off the quarterback.
I was going to pick the Falcons, but I think you convinced me. I'm going to go with the Panthers too.
The over Ridder concerns?
Yeah, just I'm not sure. I think, but then again, Bijan Robinson, I think he's going to be a really good running back in the NFL, but he's never played. But I don't know, something about Bryce Young. He struck me watching him play at Alabama. I thought he was a very, just his knowledge of the game and reading, going 1, 2, 3 progressions deep.
Mm-hmm.
I was very impressed by that. That was the one thing I saw when I was down in Alabama, that I did not realize he read defenses that well. So yeah, I'm going with the Panthers too. Let's go Panthers.
Absolutely. We do got Bryce jumping in here. One cricket. We got Bryce.
Yes.
I wanted to shout him out here because he just said Bryce.
Thanks, Bryce. I appreciate you.
But,
all right.
Yeah, that one's I think that one's kind of a sleeper game because it doesn't seem interesting on paper, and you kind of break it down. Falcons, it could be a big year for them. I mean, the last time they're really successful was that Super Bowl run. That just ended up disastrously for them.
Dave from Fullerton, he's here too.
Okay, we're out.
He probably wants me to sing a little bit too. Let's see here. Oh, speaking of that, the Oak Ridge Boys did retweet my tweet today, so I was pretty impressed by that. So
the Oak Ridge Boys.
The Oak Ridge Boys.
Yeah, they retweeted
Elvira,
which tweet?
Bop, mau, giddy up. So I was talking about how I saw the Oak Ridge Boys, not them, but I saw their tour bus in Grand Island.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite moments. So I cut a little like 50-second clip about me talking about it and I tweeted it out, and then the Oak Ridge Boys retweeted it.
Oh, nice.
So I was pretty impressed by that. So,
in with the celebrities, yeah.
Yeah, the Oak Ridge Boys. And all right, so we're going to move on now. Now, this is a game, if AD's listening, the 49ers at the Pittsburgh Super Steelers. Niners-Steelers, big day today for the Niners. $34 million to Bosa.
Mm-hmm.
$34 million a year. I
think they went way over.
Oh, the 49ers got to win this year.
Yeah.
If they don't win this year, they've got their salaries that they're paying out to players. They're over the cap. They've got so many people that are in big salaries. So you got Purdy, and then you got Kenny Pickett. It's at Pittsburgh though.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Mike Tomlin, who he's legendary. He fears no one. So George Pickens at receiver.
Pickens, what are your thoughts on George Pickens having a big year?
I like him. I think
he's been very open about him having a big year.
I think him and Pickett are going to be that connection that they'll be talking about for years to come. But you got Purdy coming back from a shoulder surgery. He got a few snaps in against the Broncos. Who do you pick here?
49ers.
You on 49ers?
Yeah, I think 49ers are a team for me that I'm going to pick them damn near every week. I just think overall, even if Brock Purdy plays okay, like that offense, that defense alone, there's so many weapons. Like you're gonna have to play at such an elite level, and you better be banking on Purdy to give you a few turnovers.
I'm gonna shock some people here. I'm gonna take the Steelers. I think Kenny Pickett and George Pickens and Najee Harris become the Terry Bradshaw, Franco Harris, and Lynn Swann of the 70s.
I think Kenny Pickett fizzles out this season.
Uh-oh.
I think we kind of start to see some.
Now, on the next show, if AD's listening here, he's probably not going to be talking to you.
That's why I come in at 4. Make sure that's when AD's gone for sure.
Oh my gosh. So we're split on that. I'm going to go Steelers. I think they're going to shock the world. So I'm going to go Steelers. Now we're going to move on. We got the Cardinals versus the Commanders. So you've got Josh Dobbs starting for the Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows what's going on in Cardinal land right now? Kyler Murray, it seems like they're done with him. They're going to make a play for Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams still has another year of eligibility, so he's getting paid more than he'll get in his rookie contract staying at USC. So I think the Cardinals are SOL, I would say, because I just don't think that they have no pieces in the game right now. All they can hope for now is that Kyler Murray gets healthy and the ownership, because I think Jonathan Gannon, the coach, wants Kyler Murray as his quarterback, but I don't think the ownership does. So it's a bad situation for the Cardinals. So I'm not sure what's going to play out there.
Yeah, the Kyler Murray really surprised me. I still think he's a good quarterback. I wouldn't be willing to move on from him so fast. I just don't see a lot. Like you said, Caleb Williams, it seemed pretty direct to the Cardinals. Like, don't even think about tanking because we'll go back.
We'll go back, and he'll make more money than at USC than he will with the Cardinals in his first year.
So they're in a
4 years.
world of trouble. The only way I can really see them, I don't even think it's not even like the Commanders are a team to be feared that much. But I just think, what are you guys playing for? How much and
the Commanders got a new quarterback also.
Yeah,
they're going with Sam Howell, which seems like by all impressions, Rivera is he's impressed by him. You got new offense coordinator, Eric Bieniemy. So
you got Dotson. I like Jahan Dotson out there.
And you got
second year in his league.
Who's the not Gibson. They have the other really good receiver for the Commanders. Oh, why am I forgetting his name? Not all pro, but Pro Bowl player. Oh, I'm forgetting his name.
You want me to wait? It's going to drive you nuts.
It's going to drive me nuts.
I got it right here for you.
Tell me.
Terry McLaurin.
Thank you. So I think the Commanders, I still think the Commanders, the best they do is third place. I don't see anybody going over the Eagles and the Cowboys and the East there. And then you also got the Giants. So I mean, Commanders got their work cut out for them. But I'm still going Commanders here. I think the Commanders win. I don't think the Cardinals have any. I thought Josh Dobbs probably smartest guy ever, but I just don't think that Josh Dobbs. To say that Josh Dobbs would still be in the NFL this many years after playing for Tennessee, I would have said false. I saw him as maybe 1 or 2 years and out of the league, and then he's still in the starting. I'm going with Commanders.
Yeah, I just think that's one for the Cardinals. Like playing for an organization where you don't really have your goals outlined. I just think it's a tough thing to kind of get the whole chemistry going and all 11 guys on the field playing their heart out, making sure they got the right execution down. Like when the goals aren't clear,
And the Cardinals, they lost, TJ Watt retired. Allen went to the Broncos. Vance Joseph went to the Broncos. So the Cardinals, I'm going with the Commanders. Now we'll move into the late games on Sunday. We got the 3:25 game. We got Jake's Miami Dolphins versus I did not say it. I almost did. The Los Angeles Chargers. I feel like they'll always be San Diego to me, but the Los Angeles Chargers, you've got Tua coming back from all of his concussions last year. You got the Cheetah, Tyreek Hill. And then with the Chargers, You got Justin Herbert, signed a big contract, making his return, but they're coming back from complete and utter disappointment in the playoffs last year. Given that game to the Jaguars the way they did, I don't know if they're going to have any remaining, thoughts of that game in their heads. Sometimes those games, they really affect your team. But Dolphins, Chargers, it's in Los Angeles.
Yep.
At SoFi. I'm going with the Dolphins. I think you've got Tua. I think he stays healthy. I hope he stays healthy. I pray he stays healthy. You got the Cheetah, Tyreek Hill. And then the big thing that the Dolphins have this year is they got Vic Fangio as their defense coordinator. And I think Vic Fangio is one of the top defense coordinators in the league. So I'm going with the Dolphins. I think they beat the Chargers. Herbert might still have his, 300 yards passing, but I'm going with the Dolphins.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that one too. Dolphins just have a ton of offense going for him. Like anytime you got Waddle Hill on the field, and Tua, hoping he stays healthy. At least heading into week 1, he's going to be healthy.
Yeah.
I just for them, it's just going to be a health thing. Offensively, they obviously had it going last year. I think the biggest indicator is like they were playing middle of the season. They were playing the Ravens.
Yep.
They were down by like 21. It might have been 28 points, and then it was just bang, bang, bang. They run back up there. And yeah, it was always a question of the defense, new defensive coordinator. I think that's kind of the biggest thing for them to fix.
Yep.
But in this matchup, I'm going to go with the Dolphins.
If Tua does get injured, though, I see Tom Brady selling his stock in the Raiders ASAP.
That's the team he would go to.
He'll be going to the Dolphins, but we'll see. Hopefully Tua stays healthy and don't have to worry anything about that. And then we go to the Eagles at the Patriots, 325 from Foxborough. I'm all Eagles. I think Jalen Hurts, the way he played in the Super Bowl, I think he's got tons of confidence right now. I think he's got the chip on his shoulder, not getting that Super Bowl victory. I think the Eagles still have a great core around him. They lost Miles Sanders in the offseason, but you still got A.J. Brown. You still got a really great offensive line. And a good defense. So I'm going the Eagles all over the Patriots. Patriots, they're another one of those teams. I'm not even sure, what's going on there with Mac Jones. They got Bill O'Brien there as the coordinator now, so maybe they can get him corrected. I just think this is a make or break year for Mac Jones. It's crazy being that he was a first round draft pick, but I just think that he's got to get back to his rookie ways. If he struggles like he did last year, I could see the Patriots moving on.
Yeah, I'm with you there. The preseason was kind of weird for the Patriots. You're still looking at Mac Jones, and every now and then you kind of see he's not, he wasn't out there starting, which is a little unique. Obviously, you go through the whole Zappy thing last year, where even some of the fans are calling for Zappy.
Now he's on the practice squad.
Yeah,
and it's just that they released the 2 quarterbacks was crazy. But I don't know how it's all going to work for the Patriots. I know Bill Belichick. He's got that super coaching ego that he can coach anyone, anywhere, anytime to a Super Bowl. But you've yet to see those Super Bowls come back since Tom Brady left. So,
and the drafts have been questionable. You can't deny that is one area where Bill Belichick, he'd never admit it, but his drafts haven't been great.
And he's the GM and head coach, and he's the one making those calls. But I'm going with the Eagles. I think the Eagles are going to be one of your contenders in the NFC this year. So
yeah,
Eagles. And now we'll move on to the Packers and the Bears at Soldier Field in Chicago. I'm going with the Bears. I think Justin Fields. I think the Bears have a really good year this year. They've got receivers now. They've got running backs. I think the Bears are going to be that team that will give. I'm going to say they're going to give the Vikings and the Lions fits this year. I think Justin Fields is going to make super strides forward. I know you love hearing that. So Bears.
I'm actually Green Bay Packers. I think Jordan Love's going to be. No, I'm just kidding.
What?
We're going Bears.
Oh my goodness!
Bears all the way.
I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah, no, this is a year where the Bears, they better damn well get it right. It's going to be hurting if they don't.
I think the Bears.
If
Bears.
Tell me this right now before we go to break. What are your thoughts on Jordan Love? I'm already seeing way too much hype, but I'm gonna be honest. Like it's a little daunting. I swear to God, if I go from Brett Favre to Rodgers to whatever Love, if he turns out to be great, I mean that's brutal.
Yeah. From what you hear, they say that he's got all the tools and he's playing like Aaron Rodgers, but until you play in a real game and you play some time in a real game, the Aaron Rodgerses of the world are very few and far between. And to say that you're playing to the caliber of Aaron Rodgers, I want to see that first to believe it. And also, too, the Packers are the Packers, too, to where they still really don't have much at the receiving position.
That's my next point. Like, even if he's playing at that level,
they don't
who's he throwing
they're
to?
throwing to the same guys they were throwing to last year. And that was Rodgers' big gripe last year was he really didn't have anybody. I hope for, Samari Torre, steps up, has a big year. Was it Christian Watson?
Yep, Lazard's gone.
But there's not that guy. There's not that Devontae Adams there. They've got a good running game. They've got AJ Dillon and I forgot the start. Why am I forgetting the starter's name? Man,
Jones.
Aaron Jones.
Yeah,
Aaron Jones. Yeah. So they've got them. But until they play real games, I want to see Jordan Love play some games first. Not a first-year quarterback. I know what they're hoping for, that it's going to be like Aaron Rodgers. Like, he sat behind Aaron Rodgers for a few years. He learned from him. Like Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre, learned from him, and came in. But Aaron Rodgers is just a completely different type of animal. So I'll be interested to see how it plays out. But I'm going with the Bears. I think quarterback there is just, I think he's going to be special. I see so much of him and Jalen Hurts, just the way their games. So I think the Bears.
I love to hear it. Yeah,
Bears.
I'm there too. I'm just really excited to see it. The thing with Justin Fields is I still believe that throwing game's there. It was there at Ohio State.
Yep.
I know people are gonna be like, well, yeah, elite receivers. And it's like he still had to throw it on a rope to get it over the top.
You look at Jalen Hurts his first year.
Yeah.
He got away with his mobility, kind of struggled a little bit in the passing game. Next year, puts it all together, starts throwing the ball better, still has that mobility when he needs it. That's what I see with Justin Fields. Do I see him running for 100 yards every single game like he was pretty much last year? I don't see that.
You'd hope not, right? That's why he got the weapons.
Yeah, I see him leaning more on the passing and then having that where he can run at certain occasions. So what we'll do now is we'll throw it to break. We'll come back. We got 3 more games left. We'll wrap those up, and we'll wrap up the Wide Road to Raff. But we'll be right back. It's the Wide Road to Raff on 93.7 The Ticket.
Culture is the economic engine of the Midwest. At Acres Equipment, we dedicate ourselves to making that engine run smoothly. We supply our farmers and ranchers with quality John Deere equipment, parts, and service. We also deliver the most advanced technology and precision ag strategies to help them farm today and for the future. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has come to the attention of the Nebraska Lottery that when people hear a radio commercial in their car for one of our lotto games, Powerball, Mega Millions, or Lucky for Life, they tend to begin daydreaming about how they'll spend the prize money if they win, instead of paying attention to the road. So please, when I tell you that Nebraska Lottery Lotto games offer big money and big fun, keep your mind on driving. Do not start thinking about all the things you could buy if you win. Things like bright red sports cars, tropical vacations, 100-inch TVs, hot tubs, SUVs, a new computer, motorboats.
Bob, snap out of it.
Oh, good heavens. Ladies and gentlemen, my apologies. Perhaps I should go home now.
You better let me drive.
Lotto games from the Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $24.11 per hour, which grows to $28.27 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $32.76 per hour with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Steve's Garage Doors and Services is hiring. They are looking for a garage door installation and service technician with a clean driving record. Experience is not required as they will train for the positions. However, mechanical aptitude is required. If you want to come be a part of a small business where you're family, not just an employee, call Steve's Garage Doors and Services today to apply at 402-480-2840. That's 402-480-2840. Steve's Garage Doors and Services.
This Easter, focus on your family instead of dishes with the Venue Easter to-go meals. Prepared fresh in-house by our chefs, these meals are ready to heat and eat with packages for 2 to 3 people or 6 to 8 and your choice of juicy beef tenderloin, tasty herb roasted chicken, or our famous 6-pepper crusted prime rib. All meal packages come with sides and we have additional add-ons available to complete your feast. Order today at venuedelivered.com/Easter. That's venuedelivered.com/Easter.
You're listening to the wide world of Raff on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, everybody, we're back. This is the wide world of Raff. We got 3 games left. We're running out of time, so we're going to throw this really quick. So we got the Rams and the Seahawks in Seattle. You've got the return of Matt Stafford, and then you got Geno Smith with the Seahawks, DK Metcalf, Lockett, the crew. You got Aaron Donald for the Rams. Who do you got? Seahawks, Rams in Seattle.
Seahawks. I'm high on the Seahawks this year. Geno Smith, I don't think last year was a fluke. I don't think anything that long. Like, it was pretty much the entire course of the season. That's not a fluke at that point, in my eyes. And Pete Carroll, don't think he gets enough credit as being a great coach. I think with Russell Wilson, I know that's your guy down in Denver right now. But I really think he deserves a lot of credit for kind of building Russell Wilson up in that whole offense. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Seahawks. I think they're still a better team than people are giving them credit for. I think they're going to roll into the season. Not going to be better than the 49ers, but I think they'll at least kind of challenge them a little bit in that division.
Yep, I'm going Seahawks too. My boy Rob Jones will be representing with the 12s, I'm sure, for the first game of the season. So I'm going Seahawks also. The Sunday night game is the Cowboys and the Giants. You've got Dak versus Danny Dimes Jones. You got Saquon Barkley versus Tony Pollard. I'm going with the Dallas Cowboys, Micah Parsons.
Okay, nice. I'm glad we didn't agree on that one. I'm going Giants.
You going Giants?
Yeah, give me Giants. Give me Danny Dimes. Saquon's happy.
All
He's
right.
got the bag now. Yeah, I'm just kind of curious to see it. The Giants last year, a lot on the same line with the Titans. Those were two teams that I could not believe, very similar styles that you just don't want to get to the end of the game, and it's a one-score possession. That's when those 3 and outs become really scary.
Did you hear that, Pete Ferguson? Harrison did not pick the Cowboys. I picked the Cowboys. I picked the Cowboys. So
I'll bring Antonio back to host the show if he's got beef with that. So.
And all right. And the Monday night football game, before we get to the final game for me, we got the Bills and the Jets. Bills at Jets. You've got the world premiere of the savior of New York, Aaron Rodgers versus Josh Allen.
He's got a lot on it.
So
You've hinted at it before.
Did you feel it feels like you're going like last year it was the Bills, like everybody talked about the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this year everybody's talked about the Jets. So you got Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers in New York, Monday Night Football. Who are you going with?
Give me the Bills. I actually signed off on the idea that I think the Bills inside the locker room, I think they kind of hear that clock ticking. I think they're at a point where we really cannot afford. I wouldn't be surprised if the Jets find a way. Obviously, last year, the defense impressed you. Sauce Gardner, going to be a problem. And we've seen, Allen last year, red zone issues. Yep. It was rare for him, but he's had some turnovers in the red zone area in particular. Yeah, I'm still going to go with the Bills, though. I think they get it done. I think they kind of have that year where kind of on the same line of some of these other teams that just can't afford to mess it up anymore.
I'm going to differ. I'm going with the Jets. I think it'll be a smashing premiere for Aaron Rodgers. And a lot of Green Bay fans are going to be looking at him and going, well, he did not show all this happiness and that he probably could have shown the last couple of years in Green Bay. It seemed like he was just miserable the last couple of years in Green Bay, even though he was getting paid a king's ransom.
It's very obvious that he was not on the same page with management.
He was ready to get out. So I'm going Jets. And then for my final game, It's on Sunday at 3:25. You had to save the best for last, like I said. Raiders, Broncos.
Raiders. Going with the
I'm
Raiders.
glad we're ending the show with that, because if we would have started the show with that, it would have been WWE in here.
Yeah.
I would have been coming off the top rope, elbow dropping you, and it would have been game over. We're going with the Broncos because Russell Wilson is not shaking hands and kissing babies no more. He's playing football. The Denver Football Broncos will beat the LA Raiders on Sunday at 3:25. Mark it down at Mile High Stadium in Power Field. That's what I'm talking about. Harrison, we've done it. We wrapped up week 1. This might be the greatest football week 1 preview show in the history of preview shows.
I think it was. It's going to be up there.
Oh,
You
it's
know,
good.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're talking about us on ESPN.
Oh, they have to.
Some
They
hot
have to.
takes. And you give me some good clip content. I'm excited to cut up your Broncos hype.
Oh, yeah.
And then when we get towards the end of the season, or
play it
at
again.
the end of this week, I'll repost it.
Yeah,
for
I
you.
know. I know how that goes. I have to deal with Nick and AD about that every day. But all right, everybody, I've really appreciated hanging out with you guys tonight. I hope we enjoyed it too. I will be back tomorrow on The Drive at 8:15. We will talk to you next week. This has been the Wide World of Raff.